Good day everyone, I am ma.mekaela from BKED 1A and I will be discussing the typical and atypical development. So in this presentation, I'm going to introduce you first to my topic and the definitions of typical and atypical development, and finally the principles of child development. The development of a child usually follows a predictable pattern. The term developmental milestone refers to a set of skills and abilities that can be observed to assess a child's development. Examples of these are babbling, sitting, and following directions. However, each child is unique. As a result, not everyone reaches a milestone at the same time, which is why the terms typical and atypical development are used. So before we go into detail about what makes a child's development typical or atypical, let's first define the two terms. The term typical development refers to the normal progression where children grow by acquiring knowledge, skills, and behavior called developmental milestones at a certain time frame. And atypical development is a term used when development does not follow the normal course. More so, a child is developing atypically when he or she reaches a milestone earlier or later than other children his or her age. So, in typical development, this is the natural or the normal flow of child's development, while in atypical development, the development of the child does not follow the expected pattern. There is no clear way to identify whether a child is developing typically or atypically. However, there are three commonly accepted child development principles that one should look into. The first one is rate of development differs among children. Every child develops at his or her own rate and at his or her own way. The next one is development occurs in a relatively orderly process, with later abilities, skills, and knowledge building on those already acquired. The order in which children learn is more essential than when they attain milestones. For example, babies must roll over first before they can sit or crawl. And crawling is an important developmental step toward walking. So there are two patterns in this. The first one is the proximodistal pattern, where growth starts from the center of the body and moves towards the extremities. The second one is the cephalocaudal pattern, where development proceeds from the head downwards. So the last principle is development takes place gradually. A child won't develop overnight. The process of development is gradual. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you learned something, and have a good day.